Hello, you miserable piles of scum. It is I, questionable sanity, your lady and mistress, here to relieve you of the burden of thought and tell you what to think. Yesterday, Digital Extreme Sports released a new board with incredible stats, and for only $4.99. Is it worth $4.99? Even after you bought the Fortuna expansion? No. But I bought a letter just to flex on you scrubs.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
You could think the world of me, but yet, if you see me in this hood and knew who I were, your whole thoughts could change.
This is my land!
Trash where it belongs. Yes, sir.
Protecting kids from cruelty online.
And I believe together we can make a real difference.
When you open your heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice.
Prolific personal attacks online. The New York Times logging a list of the 425 people, places, and things Donald Trump has trashed on Twitter.
Hey, gang, 47! Put the cops in piggy heaven!
Racism, Islamophobia, sexism, gun violence, the rise of the alt-right, cyberbullying, hate speech, climate change. When did things get so bad? My name is Grumpy Lobster. I've been a Clamp reporter covering everything going on in the world for the last 5 years. And today, we answer that question. The first step was research. We have always known just how problematic the world had become, but I had no idea just how far it had gone. Within hours, my worst fears were confirmed as article after article just confirmed my beliefs. The world is more racist and divided than ever before. In just a few days, our researchers were able to find an individual who suffered a vicious online attack. We arranged an interview and packed up to fly to Canada, once thought to be a safe harbor from hate, to interview this brave survivor.
We've traveled now to Edmonton, Alberta. We're going to visit an actual victim of racism now. His name is Dave Jordanson, and he is a survivor. I am honored to visit him. I feel very privileged today to be able to interview him. This is truly a dark day for freedom. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks for coming.
I know this must be a pretty difficult time for you.
All right.
So first off, I'd just like to ask, how has this vicious attack affected your life?
I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about here.
I don't want to reopen old wounds. You've probably already suppressed the memory. About 4 months ago, on your Facebook photo. I have the comment right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that one. That was a while back. I'd kind of forgotten about it.
But how did these hateful words send ripples through your life?
How did it affect you personally?
I'd say not very much. Got better things to worry about.
Could you describe how you felt after you read the comment?
I mean, I guess I'd say I was kind of annoyed at first, but then I just went on with my day.
Why do you think there's so much hate online?
I don't know. People are probably just bored. Got nothing better to do. Maybe they had a bad day.
Let's try another direction. Why do you think there's so much hate directed towards persons of color online?
I don't know. How does this even apply? Like, I just got some comment from some random Russian guy. What does it have to do with anything about persons of color?
Well, as a marginalized individual, doesn't it affect you more?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm marginalized, but no.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Okay. You have a good day.
Dave put on a strong face, but I could tell the comment was eating him on the inside. Internet speech violence is quickly becoming the most dangerous and destructive force to ever plague social media. I had to get some answers.
We're here in Berlin, Germany. We're going to visit a doctor, Professor Martin von Schmidt. He is an expert, a world expert, in fact, on racism and history of racism. And I'm going to try to get some insight from him on how we can defend ourselves against it. It's so good to have you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
So, first off, can you just give us the definition of racism?
Yes. I've spent many a good year studying this topic. Now, see, well, racism all comes down to a single event. That being Articles of Confederation of America. Now, this was signed in 2024 by George Washington and the founding fathers of Paraguay. Now, in this event, they were able to acquire the coastline to Mexico. And using this knowledge of primarily the Iroquois Confederacy, they were able to actually do the Sundance properly to secure America's rightful place to be #1 chief at racism. Now, this all comes down to white people owning guns. Why do white people own guns? Because it was invented. Now, why were they invented? That's a good question. My scholarly sources tell me, especially about the fact that there is no actual resources that state that George Washington didn't have a son called Liberius Primus Washington, or Liberty Prime as his schoolmates call them. Now, where Liberty Prime comes in is it's the prime form of liberty, also known as not slavery, also known as not racism. Where does racism come from? Paraguay. Now, Paraguay is interesting because I have no idea where it is on the map. No one does. Do you know where Paraguay is?
I don't.
Exactly. No one knows where Paraguay is. So, therefore, if no one knows where Paraguay is, no one knows where Liberius Primus Washington was buried, therefore, no one knows the root of all racism, which was signed by the Articles of Confederation in 2024.
So we all know that feminism is the key to defeating Trump's fascist regime.
See that? That's a good question. Primarily due to the large population of just crime in Europe. Now, why is that important, you would think?
Yeah.
See, people immigrated from Europe to South America, therefore bringing a monopoly of crime, therefore bad people, Trump. Now, because Trump has a monopoly on bad people, he can actually weaponize that against the commonsensical left to just completely obliterate them in the Canadian government system. Because as we all know, Trump was able to secure to be the Prime Minister of the Dominion of Chile. Because he has bad people, he has Chile, cold. In case there's a Cold War, he has a monopoly on cold to be able to win it. He's trying to start a Cold War against the left by having all of the cold.
So we all know that Trump emits fascism from every pore in his body. Can we talk briefly about how to defend ourselves from that fascism?
Well, with professors in academia especially, they like to sort their sources into primary and secondary sources, being of course like sources that were taken during the time of the event, and secondary being like someone recalling and adding their own personal opinions to the event. Now, I've been an avid advocator for adding in a third option, third sources. Now, these are the sources that are the most important. They're known as the ones that are true. Now, how do you define if something is a third source? Well, it actually comes down to, does it agree with my opinions? If it doesn't, then it's probably just made up by the Russians. So what I like to do, and what I like to teach a lot of my students actually, is if you don't agree with it, just report it. Just completely get it stripped from the internet. Whoever wrote it just straight up ruin their life. Like, you know, I'm talking just swat their house, but instead of swatting their house, it's just a crime, in fact. Just commit crime. And to be honest with you, I think if we remove all opinions that aren't mine, I think we'll be able to live a lot better.
Professor Schmidt made it perfectly clear. But before we could begin to fix the world, we had to identify what was causing all the problems. I needed to understand the motivations behind these vicious acts. But how? It's obvious we are surrounded by evil every hour of every day, but how to draw them out? Turns out, to summon the devil, you need only say his name.
Yesterday, one of our researchers was contacted by the hacker known as 4chan. We're going to our hotel right now to get an interview. We don't have much time.
They call themselves anonymous. They are hackers on steroids, treating the web like a real-life video game.
The good, the bad, and the trolls. They call themselves Kekistanis. Whatever it is, it's the latest in a long line of sexist, racist, and homophobic memes by the alt-right targeting your children.
Images related to the shooting in their own way just as disturbing were popping up on computer screens. They were connected to the internet subculture known as 4chan.
4chan. 4chan.
4chan.
Who is this 4chan?
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this interview. First off, I would just like to ask, why are you a Nazi?
What?
Why are you, 4chan, a Nazi?
4chan's like a Korean image board. I'm not a Nazi.
But why are you a Nazi? Why are you a Nazi? Let's take this another way. This isn't going anywhere. How does it feel being the largest producer of speech violence on the internet?
What? The site or me personally?
4chan.
Probably proud. Yeah, it's pretty cool, honestly.
When will you take responsibility for all the damage caused by leaking celebrity private photos?
Well, I mean, that wasn't me.
4chan, right?
You think 4chan is just me?
You are the hacker known as 4chan.
Yes, and basically, it was really, really cool of me to be able to do all of that celebrity leak mining by myself. And you know what? Yeah, I'll take responsibility right now. It was all me, and definitely not a Korean basket weaving forum. Just all me, by myself.
Is racism funny to you?
No, there's no racism on 4chan. No, we just, it's just this Russian site. We share borscht recipes, talk about our babushkas, show off our new Adidas track pants, stuff like that. I mean, I know you're trying to catch me, but I mean, dude, come on. You've been to the site. You contacted me on the site. Click on half the links and you'll know the answer to that. Why do you have to ask me?
Do you feel at all guilty about all of the young lives lost due to your incessant trolling?
Nah. It's always been tits or GTFO. Some people GTFO. I mean, that's their choice, not mine. Then again, we don't do any trolling on 4chan. We just, exchange pictures of cats.
Do you have any idea how much damage you cause every day to women and minorities when you support Donald Trump?
Damage? Huh. Like what?
The damage to the women and minority communities.
What kind of damage? Like, damage to minorities? What do you mean?
The damage to the women and minority communities.
Oh. Well, I think it's hilarious that the United States voted in Captain Spraytan. But pertaining to minorities, I mean, if you visit this lovely Korean image board, you'll see that we do nothing but post wonderful pictures of women, Jews.
It was obvious the conversation had stalled, and my producer was afraid we were violating Germany's hate speech laws. So we packed up and left as quickly as possible.
When white people invented guns in the American Revolutionary War, it all came down to the usage of assault rifles. Now, people think that the AR-15 is really a new thing, but it's actually, it all started from flintlock muskets. Now, these were actually able to shoot really accurately comparatively to what people want you to think, because it's all about this perception management. Relatively about 800 rounds per second that's incredible. Yeah, is some of what I've heard. Now, gun violence all comes down to video games. Now, with video games, they glorify firearm violence and just slaughtering people. And every time you go on a gamer, website like YouTube or like uTorrent, you can see the comments. And part of the comments say, so I actually was shook for 3 whole years. I was able to get government funding at least, but I was shook for 3 whole years because of a meme or a meme, I don't know how you pronounce it, that I was able to see. It was actually a cantaloupe from The Amazing Orange, and it had glasses and a sombrero on, and it actually said, "I hate women and minorities." And this was actually what sparked this whole concept that I've never been experienced with. It was just, how do you take such a beloved icon like the Amazing Orange and tarnish its glorious reputation with this filth.
Back home, while reviewing the footage, a troubling pattern began to emerge. Threads of hate through all the interviews began to unravel the conspiracy.
Random Russian guy.
Russia didn't fall.
A Russian borscht recipe for it.
Russian hackers.
Russia is practicing something in Ukraine.
New urgent warning about Russian hackers.
Russia was hacking these political targets.
I knew what I must do.
We're here in St. Petersburg, Russia. Our researchers were able to secure an interview with Russian hackers. All I can hope is we get this story out. The people need to know. That we can... Shit, get the camera down. Okay.
Oh, shit. Hello? Hi? Привет. Привет. No, please. I don't want vodka, please. It's fine. Well, that's drugs. No, please. No, yes, привет. Dankeschön. Oh, fuck! No, jeez. No, I don't want a gun. What is this? Oh, fuck, no, please. Stop. Okay, take it. Get us the fuck out of here. Get us out of here. Drive.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, fuck. Why are you racists? Why are you racist? Why do you want Trump to be president? Why do you hate women and minorities? Why do you want Trump to be president? All right, Chris, this is fucking stupid, guys. Let's get out of here.